Okay, so if you run a service business, I bet you know this frustration all too well. You pour your heart into delivering exceptional quality, but your customers seem to be laser focused on just one thing: price. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that's happening and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Let's get into it.
All right, so let's just dive right into the problem. It's that feeling, right? That constant pullback to cost, no matter how hard you try to talk about the quality, the experience, and the real value you bring to the table.
And this is the question, isn't it? This is the one that keeps so many business owners up at night. You start wondering, what am I doing wrong here? Is this whole industry just a race to the bottom?
I mean, does any of this sound familiar? You're fielding more questions about cost right off the bat. People are constantly quoting what your competitors charge. You feel like you're always on your back foot, having to justify a price that you know is fair. And then, of course, you get asked for a cheaper option. It is absolutely exhausting. Now, here's the big twist. It's so easy to think, well, I guess people just don't care about quality anymore. They just want the cheapest thing they can find. But what if that's not it at all? The source material we're looking at today points to something completely different. So, if it's not that people stopped caring about quality, then what in the world is going on? Well, the real reason has everything to do with what your customers see, or maybe more accurately, what they don't see, long before they ever pick up the phone to call you. And boom, there it is. That's the light bulb moment. The root of the problem isn't that people's values have changed. It's that their shopping environment has completely changed. When they're looking at a screen, swimming in a sea of Google search results, your business just kind of blends in with everyone else. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly, right? On one side, you have what the customer actually sees online. A bunch of websites that, let's be honest, probably look pretty similar. They use the same kind of stock photos, the same industry buzzwords. But on the other side, that's the reality of your business. That's your exceptional care, your years of experience, the real trust you build with people. The problem is, none of that good stuff is visible through a screen. So just put yourself in their shoes for a second. If you're comparing three things, and they all look, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same, how are you supposed to choose? You're going to go with the only thing that's different: the price tag. It's not about being cheap, it's the only logical move they can make. And this just shows how much the game has changed. Think about it. Back in the day, people knew you. They knew your truck, your storefront, your reputation around town. Trust was built face-to-face over time. But today, that critical first impression, that first handshake, happens almost entirely online through your website and your reviews. Okay, so if the dig problem is that your value is invisible online, then the solution is pretty clear, right? We have to make it visible. And this is where we get into what the source material calls digital trust signals. It's all about showing them you're the real deal. So when we say digital presence, we're not just talking about having a website that's like a boring old brochure. We're talking about the whole package. It's your modern-day storefront, your handshake, and your reputation all rolled into one. It sends an immediate, powerful signal about how professional and trustworthy you are before a single word is ever spoken. So many amazing businesses fall into this trap, and they don't even realize it. Their service is absolutely top-notch in the real world, but their online presence screams basic. You know, an old website that's a pain to use on a phone, maybe a couple of reviews from 3 years ago, no real helpful info. It gives the impression that the business just isn't quite on the ball, even if that couldn't be further from the truth. Now let's flip that. Contrast it with what we'd call an intentionally premium presence. And premium doesn't mean you spend a fortune. It just means everything is clear, professional, and helpful. A clean website that works great, a steady flow of recent positive reviews, content that actually answers your customers' questions. This sends a completely different message. And here is the magic. This is the payoff. When a potential customer sees that strong, premium digital presence, a higher price doesn't feel like a shock. It feels, well, it feels justified. It makes sense. You've already proven your value, so the price just feels like it matches the quality they can already see. So this is huge. It's not just about what you're showing them online, it's about when. The whole goal is to shape their idea of your value right at the very beginning of their journey, way before price ever enters the picture. You have to get this. It is so, so important. The battle for your value isn't won or lost on the phone call. It's usually already over by them. It happened quietly inside the customer's head while they were clicking around your website and scrolling through your reviews. That phone call is often just to confirm the price of a value they've already decided on. So let's just walk through their journey. Step 1. It all starts with a simple search. Step 2. They click, and within seconds, they are judging your entire digital presence. Step 3. Based on that split-second assessment, they mentally put you in either the basic bucket or the premium bucket. And only after they've made that call, step 4, do they even think about asking for the price. And this chart just nails the emotional side of it. When your online presence makes somebody feel confident, reassured, and supported, their willingness to pay a higher price shoots way up. But when it makes them feel uncertain because you look just like everybody else, they have no choice but to fall back on the only thing they know for sure, the price. And let's be super clear about the goal here. This isn't some trick to just jack up your rates for no reason. This is about being able to charge what you are actually worth without all that pushback, without that constant fight. It's about earning your price with confidence, not just defending it. All right, let's bring it all home. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, I want it to be this simple but incredibly powerful idea. So, what's the secret sauce for the businesses that seem to escape this price trap? Well, they look professional online. They have a ton of great visible reviews. They provide clear, helpful information that puts people at ease. They often use modern tools that make life easier for their customers. Bottom line, they present themselves with total confidence. And that right there is the key to the whole kingdom. It was never about being the cheapest. It was always about being the easiest to trust. When you make it incredibly easy for a customer to trust you before you've even had a conversation, the topic of price becomes so much smaller. Let's just end on this thought from our source material because it really says it all. Your quality, your care, your expertise, it might be world class. But if your customers can't see it, then for all practical purposes, it doesn't exist when they're making their choice. So the question I'll leave you with is this: how are you going to make your quality visible?